시제가라 기름 딩고르게 제외외로 유제링하고 야외되고 은이 센세고 그 유를 무시하나 차자 여원이 능은상 주게 야센다위 주윤수 간진조라 제외가 유게로 소지 제샤 야외동대 님의 뒤수 내는셔를 쳐줘 가모바지 스승용으로 뜬번이와 대란뒤
I would like to wish you all warm greetings. Today is the anniversary of the parinirvana of the founder of the Dapo Kagyu schools, the king of Dharma, the lord of Dharma, and the protector of beings, Gampopa Sonam Rinchen. Lord Gampopa was born in central Tibet, in Nyel, the southern area of the 9 valleys of Yorpo. These days, it is called Nyaltu in the Lunse district. The clan he was born into was the Niwa clan, and his father was Nyima Laje Gambar, and his mother was named Shoma Satse Cham. They had 3 sons, and among the 3 sons, Gampopa was the middle son. Regarding the date of his birth, it was in the Earth Sheep year 1079. As Drogon Patmo Drupa wrote in his biographical supplication, from his birth in the year of the Earth Sheep until he passed from this world of emanations, his most amazing wonders were countless. I shall describe them in brief, so listen with respect. So as this says, it gives the year of Gampopa's birth. Gampopa was known by many different names. For example, Dharmakyap, Supushpachandra, Youthful Moonlight, Dawa Gyaltsen, the leader from U, the great Niwa meditator, the physician from Dakpo, the Vajraholder Bhikshu Zamling Drapa, Dapo Rinpoche, and Gampopa. He had many different names. Because of time, I do not have the opportunity to tell his liberation story in full today. But I would like to speak, to the best of my abilities, about his accomplishments in a few different areas. Now, among them, the first of these is that from a young age, Gampopa studied medicine. Generally, he was born into a family of physicians, and he himself studied medicine with over 10 learned physicians, primarily the physician Usil from Tsang, the physician Kyemai from India, and Biji Menshung from Tsang. And he became very proficient in the medical arts. It is said that he was particularly good at healing headaches. He spent his entire life continually practicing medicine, which is why he became known as the Bhikshu physician. He also had many medical students. Among them, there was Shang Menakpa, who spent 18 years with him and became the main holder of his lineage. Gampopa wrote a medical text for Shang Menakpa, known as the Ocean of Jewels, or the Collected Teachings of Dakpo. Later, there are 2 lineages of the transmission of that text. One of these was passed from Shan Menakpa and to Yudok Sarma Yintin Gyatpo, the 17th century master of Tibetan medicine Deum Geshe Tenzin Punsok wrote, Among all the transmissions of medicine, Lord Gampopa's transmission is like the main trunk of them all. There are two autobiographical accounts of Gampopa in the dialogues of Dusun Khenpa, and there is also Dorgon Pakmudrupa's brief analysis of the crucial points in the transmission of instructions of the 6 yogas. Now what they say is that when he reached the age of 26, with faith as solid as Mount Meru, the venerable Guru from Nyel perfected the training in superior discipline. As this says, when Gampopa reached the age of 26, he took novice and full ordination at the same time from 3 lamas from Ngari, including Geshe Lodin from Lodin Shedup of Maryul, Shedup Ningbo of Shangshung, and Midewa Changchup Sempa at a place called Rongpa in the region of Dakpo. The lineage of Gampopa's vows were the lower or Me Vinaya lineage that is said to have originated with Shantarakshita. He was given the monastic name Sunam Rinchen. Now at that time, he also received instructions in shamatha meditation from Geshe Changchup Sempa, and within 5 or 6 days he had a good experience of shamatha. He had the experience of not knowing whether it was day or night, and of feeling no hunger even if he did not eat. He wondered how long that experience might last, and he was able to sustain it for 13 days. Generally, among the 3 Kagyu forefathers, Marpa the translator and Jetsun Milarepa were householders, and most of their students were either householders or cotton-clad yogis. From Gampopa onward, the tradition has been that it is primarily the monastic community that has upheld, preserved, and spread the Kagyu teachings. The liberation story of Milarepa titled The Black Treasury, compiled by the 3rd Karmapa Ranjan Dorje, relates how after Gampopa had left Milarepa, Milarepa said to his yogi students, "That physician Gampopa will help benefit many sentient beings. Last I had a dream that a yellow bird flew away from me in the direction of central Tibet, and he landed in the peak of a great mountain. And then many large flocks of ruddy geese from all directions gathered there, and after a short while each geese was surrounded by 500 others. At that time, the whole valley and all the directions were filled with these brownish geese. This is what I dreamt." So even though I am a yogi, all my followers will be only monastics. And I have done something for the teachings of all the Buddhas, he said. Milarepa's prophecy turned out to be true, as we can see from history. At the age of 28, Gampopa went to northern Uru in the vicinity of present-day Pembo to study the Kadampa teachings. He studied with several Kadampa masters, including Nyugrumpa, Gya Yundak, Gya Chariwa, Geshe Depa, and Cha Yayulwa. Among them, from Geshe Nyugrumpa Tsundu Gyatsen, he received the Kadampa oral instructions, and in particular the Bodhisattva vows. From that point on, Gampopa said, he was never without relative bodhicitta. What it says in his Dharma Talk's Plentiful Qualities is, Thus, this relative bodhicitta is important. It is necessary at the outset. Without it, you cannot go down the Mahayana path. It is necessary in the middle. Without it, you will fall into samsara. It is necessary at the end. Without it, you will not form the two formkayas. He is speaking from his own experience about how crucial bodhicitta is. He is saying when we speak about the samsara, in the middle you will fall into samsara, it says here we don't mean the ordinary samsara, but the large samsara that he speaks of in the jewel ornament of liberation. Gampopa spent only 8 or 9 months studying with Nyugrumpa, but during that period he had to stay among many people, and his previous meditational experience deteriorated. Gampopa heard that Geshe Gya Yundak lived in a remote place without fostering an entourage of students, so he went to see him. There were few people around Gya Yundak, so Gampopa's shamatha also improved greatly. In particular, Geshe Gya Yundak said to Gampopa, I will teach you the oral instructions of Atisha that have from a lineage not interrupted even by Geshe Trungpa, as if they were handmade by the Buddha. He taught him the pith instructions, such as the 4 characteristics passed down from Gompawa, and he was able to develop insight in addition to the shamatha he already had. Geshe Gya Yundak was known at that time as having the highest resolution of all the Kadampa masters in Urartu at the time. And Lota Gampopa developed realization that was equal to or similar to his. He also received from Geshe Gya Yundak the instructions on the stages of the path, and he meditated a great deal on impermanence, karmic cause and effect, the defects of samsara, and so forth. Thus he developed a sense of urgency. His early experiences of bliss and clarity decreased, and he felt only impermanence and weariness. In sum, Lord Gampopa must have spent 3 years studying with Geshe Gya Yundak. In the writings of Jigten Kyopa Jigten Zimgun, he wrote that in the Dakpo Kagyu there are 3 transmissions: the transmission of the view, the transmission of conduct, and the transmission of pith instructions. Among these, the transmissions of view and conduct come from the Kadampa, with the view of the transmission of the view coming from Gya Yundak and the transition of conduct coming from Nyugrumpa. This transition of conduct is primarily because this is said that he received the transmission of conduct from Nyugrumpa because he developed the realization of relative bodhicitta from Nyugrumpa's instructions. Now, regarding the transition of the view of Gya Yundak, Gya Yundak had received a transition of the view passed from Atisha to Gompawa. And Atisha was known to be very fond of the consequentialist middle way, and this must be the reason why the Dampo Kagyu schools need to accord so closely with the consequentialist middle school, I believe. Likewise, when we speak about the stages of progressing down the path in the Dampo Kagyu, we speak about the 4 stages of yoga. And these are described clearly in the Mahamudra instructions Atisha gave to Gompawa. So this is further evidence that there is a connection between the transition of Gampopa's view and Lord Atisha, I believe. In general, the lineage of Gampopa's view is not solely the lineage of the Kadampas. There are also transmissions from Milarepa. As Milarepa said to Gampopa in a song, "To ascertain it is a view, look at your own mind." And he also spoke about the 4 pitfalls of emptiness. And Gampopa emphasized all of these when he gave instructions in Mahamudra. In brief, when Gampopa taught to most groups, he taught them according to the Kadampa stages of the path. and he only taught Mahamudra to a few particular students, establishing a new way of doing this. Moreover, what he said is, the little benefit I've been able to give people comes because of the Kadampa tradition. There are many people who teach the pith instructions of Naro, but they bring little benefit when not connected to the Kadampa, he said. He also said that training the mind in the Kadampa stages of the path, the three types of individuals, is very valuable. Without it, even if you develop a blurry natural state, if you are attached to relatives, place, or wealth, later you only get worse, you will never get better. Therefore, you absolutely must give up on this life. Recognize that all phenomena that you see or hear are like dreams and illusions, and train in loving kindness, compassion, and bodhicitta. If you do this, even without realization of the natural state, you only get better, not worse. In brief, he considered the Kadampa instructions to be extremely important. In particular, there is an old text called The Stages of the Path of Enlightenment. It is not in the Tenjur, but there was an old manuscript that was recently found in Tibet. Its primary topic is the stages of the path of the three types of individuals. The four thoughts of turn the mind, the instructions on the main practice of shamatha and insight, and the ultimate result in activity are all taught in verse. When I read it, I felt like it was like reading a Kagyu instruction manual. In this respect, I think that it shows that there was a close relation between the pith instructions of the Kadampa pith instructions of Mahamudra from Jogye Atisha and the Dakpo Kagyu. Now, as we all know, the most important guru in Gampopa's life was Jetsun Milarepa. Before Gampopa went to U, even, he studied with Milarepa's student Geshe Chanchu Sempa, from whom he received meditation instructions passed down from Milarepa. It was due to those that he developed the good experience of shamatha within 7 days. Moreover, when he went to northern U and followed Geshe Gyalgyunduk, he developed a good view of insight, as we said before. And when I look at this, I think this must have been the realization of the path of training. But he was still not able to directly see the Dharma nature as it is. Even long after Gampopa heard Milarepa's name, he was unable to meet him. And he thought to himself that he were unable to meet Milarepa even for a short time while Milarepa was still alive. Gampopa would regret it in the future. So at the age of 31, he went to meet the Guru Milarepa. It took around 4 months to travel there, but finally he met Jetsun Milarepa. He received many pith instructions of secret mantra, primarily Tummo, from Milarepa. He could only spend 13 months with Milarepa before he returned to U at the age of 32. In sum, Milarepa gave Gampopa many extraordinary Vajra instructions, and in particular, the cooperating condition, the main condition for developing the superior realization of insight, is the blessings of the lineage passed down from Marpa and Milarepa, as Gampopa recognized. And so in that respect, Gampopa had exceptional faith and longing for Milarepa and his Kagyu, and he considered them to be especially significant. Moreover, he also recognized that he himself held Milarepa's lineage. So the main point of this comes down to what is said in Gulo Tsawa's Blue Annals. The glorious Dakpo Kagyu is not a lineage of words, it is a lineage of meaning. The meaning is a lineage of the stainless relate of Mahamudra. The Guru, because of whom you realize Mahamudra, is determined to be your root Guru. So this is what it really comes down to. Gampopa himself also wrote in his Garland of the Amrita of Advice, if you have not received the Lama's blessings, you will not see this mind essence by looking. You will not catch it by grasping it, or stop it by blocking it. Also, your perceptions will not be discarded by abandoning them, or demolished by destroying them. Therefore, those who wish to gather the accumulations, purify the obscurations, pacify obstacles, develop realization in their beings, overwhelm appearances, and perfect the benefit for themselves and others, must only serve and respect the Lama. There is nothing other to do other than solely to supplicate. He also wrote, to realize your own mind, spiritual instructions alone will not help. You must receive the blessings of a guru who has realization. In brief, he spoke about how important it is to follow a guru to realize the nature of the mind. Lord Gampopa studied with many gurus who were well known in Tibet at that time and received many oral instructions. Moreover, he himself spent many years diligently practicing meditation, primarily Tummo, in Yasewa, Ulka, and other places. In the end, he saw the mind essence, the meaning of the Dharmakaya as it is, and he gave his students direct experiential instructions in it just as he had realized it, which became known as the co-emergent yoga of Mahamudra. Generally, Marpa, Milarepa, and others primarily gave the Mahamudra instructions according to the Tantra, and they did not really have the custom of giving Mahamudra instructions separately from the 6 yogas. However, Lord Gampopa later emphasized the Sutra tradition Mahamudra of teaching the instructions on Mahamudra's separation. So I believe this is the crux of why there ended up being an individual path of means and the 6 yogas of Naropa, and a path of liberation of Mahamudra. Regarding this, the 8th Karmapa Mikyo Dorje wrote that here in Tibet there were 3 ways of understanding Maitreya's middle way of not working mentally. One is emphasizing the profound and clear mantra middle way in practice, emphasizing the profound sutra middle way in practice, and the third is emphasizing the false aspect mind only in practice. Among these, Lord Milarepa and Lord Marpa and Milarepa had both the first 2, and they practiced these. In particular, Gampopa emphasized the second, Sutra Mahamudra, in his practice. He called it by the name Mahamudra, using a name that originates in unexcelled mantra, but what he was actually speaking about was the sutra tradition of the middle way of unelaborate emptiness. Implicitly, he was also teaching the ultimate profound meaning of both sutra and tantra, the common and uncommon Buddha natures. So this accords with the 3 qualities taught by Maitreya's student Sahajavajra in his commentary on the Suchnesses. The essence of the transcendences, it fits with mantra, its name is Mahamudra. This also accords with the teachings of Lord Gampopa, the glorious Padma-Drupa, and Drikun Sumgun, who said, our text on Mahamudra is the Mahayana sublime continuum by the Bhagavan Maitreya. So this was what the 8th Karmapa Mikyo Dorje said, and Mikyo Dorje also wrote in his complete discussion of Mahamudra. The manner of teaching shamatha and insight that is common with the causal vehicle of the transcendences is the pith instructions for the lamp for the path of enlightenment passed down from Atisha, then down to the great spiritual friend Tumpa and Gompawa. This is known as the great co-emergent yoga. Lord Gampopa and the protector Padma-Drupa, for the sake of students in degenerate time who like lofty vehicles, called this by the lofty name of the co-emergent yoga of Mahamudra. So in brief, Gampopa's tradition of Mahamudra comes from the Gampopa, is what Mikyo Dorje is saying. However, Drupa Pema Karpo and many others say that the Mahamudra teachings descend from Jetsun Malaripa. So the scholars have many differences in their explanations. However, Generally, the Gampopa's tradition of Mahamudra combines several traditions. The secret mantra pith instructions transmitted by Lord Marpa and Milarepa. The Kadampa tradition or Sutra tradition pith instructions passed down from Kadampa gurus such as Gya Yunda. And the realization, Dharma of realization born from Lord Gampopa's own experience. Because it combines all of these, it does not need to be forced necessarily into any one of the lineages. Nor is it so that if it derives from one, it must not arise from the other. Many gurus who lived before Gampopa or at the same time as him, such as the Kagyu gurus, Marpa, Ngotchuka Dorje, and Milarepa, the great Sakya lamas such as Drokme and Sachin Kunyinpo, Nyima gurus such as the great Surpo Shakyajun and Surchun Shirabdrapa, primarily practiced mantra. And they were primarily householders. Also with the Kadampa, which was flourishing in Tibet during that period, the primary practice was the Vinaya and the vehicle of Prajnaparamita. So there are some who prohibited the open practice of secret mantra. But when Gampopa was 16, he received many empowerments and transmissions of the secret mantra, including Chakrasamvara and Hevadra from the lineage of Sankara Lotsawa and his disciples. He also received a few Vajrayana empowerments from Kadampa masters while he was studying them. When he was with Milarepa, according to most liberation stories, he did not receive the blessings of many empowerments aside from Chakrasamvara and Varahi. Still, he did receive the complete pith instructions on the 6 yogas of Naropa and the whispered lineage of Chakrasamvara, and those lineages are still with us to this day. Gampopa also studied with many Kadampa masters and practiced the mind trainings of their lineage. And he also nurtured his students without giving up the robes of the Kadampa tradition or the conduct of the Vinaya. Before he would teach his students Mahamudra, his custom was to give them instructions on the stages of the path, such as the training in the path, as we can see from the events like when the first Karmapa Dusum Khyentse first met Gampopa. Thus, Gampopa was someone who, at that time in Tibet, openly fostered the teachings through the union of Sutra and Tantra. Gampopa himself was also very skilled in nurturing his students and very good at giving instructions. Because of this, he ripened and liberated countless students. There's a term in Tibet of what we call mind instructions, and this primarily takes Gampopa's instructions as their model, according to Jonan Jetsun Taranata. In brief, Gampopa had 4 sons who upheld his lineage, 4 siddhas, 4 mind sons, 4 close sons, 4 attendants, 4 yogis who achieved the rainbow body and Kechari, and many other students. The lineages that originate directly from Gampopa and his nephew include the 4 lineages of the Patru Kagyu, Kamsan Kagyu, Barum Kagyu, and the Tsalpa Kagyu. There are also the lineages in the line of Patmodrupa's students, including the Trikung, Taklung, Drukpa, Tropu, Martsang, Yelpa, Yasang, and Shuktsep Kagyu. Whether in political or religious terms, this is the single lineage or school that has had the greatest lineage in the snow land of Tibet, as you all know. Jonan Jetsun Taranata wrote in his supplement to the history of the transmission of the 100 instructions that from Naropa and Maitrepa until Marpa and Milarepa, there were just the seeds of the instructions in the co-emergent yoga of Mahamudra. but is not widespread. But Milarepa's prophecy to the peerless Gampopa really struck the point, and Gampopa emphasized Tummo in his meditation, and over the course of 6 years in Sewa Lung, he increased its realization. During the 3 years he spent in Gelung in Ulka, he achieved the ultimate realization of the nature. He realized that teaching these instructions to others would not benefit anyone other than just a few diligent people, so for a few years he did not teach them to anyone. After a few years he taught them to the yogi Chuyung and others, and then just as one light can light two, they all achieved complete realization without much effort, and they spread widely. So today is the anniversary of Gampopa's parinirvana. If you say, what is the source for knowing that this is Gampopa's parinirvana? It is according to Gampopa's most important students, Lord Padmadrupa and the Dharma Lord Dusum Khyentse. In particular, Padmadrupa continued to stay at Dalha Gampo Monastery after Gampopa had passed away. It explains in the dialogue with Dusum Khyentse, there is this verse. He fell slightly ill on the evening of the 14th of the middle month of summer in the year of the bird. This time I shall not take medicine, he said. Due to some minor circumstances, he laughed repeatedly. He passed away during the day of the 15th. So it seems that he passed away in the morning of the 15th day of the 6th month of the year of the bird. In the well-known biographical supplication by Padmadrupa, what he wrote is, when he decided to pass away to benefit others on the 15th day of the 6th month of the water bird year, the great being passed into the Dharma expanse. I pay homage to you who intended to pass into nirvana. And so this indicates the dates very clearly. So it is undisputed that Gampopa passed away on the 15th day of the 6th Tibetan month of the female water bird year, which is 1153. Now on those anniversaries of the dates when a guru displays miraculous deeds such as passing into nirvana, if we engage in practice while remembering the guru with fervent longing, we will gather greater accumulations and purify more obscurations. As it says in the Vajragarbha Tantra, when you observe definitely without mistake the year, month, and day of their passing, any offerings that you make will perfect the accumulation of merit, and here you will have prosperity. And so if you pray to the gurus on these particular anniversaries, then they are much more powerful. In particular, one day in a gathering that included Gompa, Dusum Khyentse, and Geshe Kampa, or that's Dorje Gyaltsen, Padmadrupa, Gampopa made the promise, I have undergone unfathomable hardships for your sake, so I have completed all the austerities, and you don't need to undergo such difficulty. It's enough for you to just supplicate. And this is the promise that he made, and so if we students pray to him with fervent longing, it is certain that we will receive the blessings. In particular, Gampopa said, all future individuals with longing for me and who think they will not meet me should please read the works I have written, including the Supreme Garland of the Precious Path and the Jewel Ornament of Liberation. When you read those texts, it is no different than meeting me in person, he said. So it is important for us to regularly open up and read Gampopa's collected works, and especially the Supreme Garland of the Precious Path and the Jewel Ornament of Realization. It is especially particular today on his parinirvana to read, contemplate, and discuss these works. So that is all I have to say for today. Thank you.